Okay, okay.
All right, it is 12:05, so let us begin. We have today here Cyril Joseph, who is a candidate for City Council in the 45th City Council District, currently held by incumbent Farrah Lewis. We have invited him to fill out a questionnaire and to participate in a short interview where he'll tell us a little bit more about himself and his campaign. We're going to start by giving him 5 minutes to tell us about himself and why he's running for office. And after that, we will open up to questions for the remaining 10 minutes of the time. So, Mr. Joseph, when you're ready, tell us why you want to be a city councilor for the 45th City
Yeah, my name is Cyril F. Joseph. The F stands for Felix. I'm a community activist, long-term community activist within the district. I have been doing community activism for I don't know how long, trying to assist my people to bring services and goods to them which they are less fortunate receiving than myself. I organized, in my community activism situation, I have organized farm workers from all the way down south, which is in Florida, coming to different parts of the states, and teaching them how to become more efficient in permanent employment, taking them from farm work into regular work. Next thing I had done was I founded Togetherness with Love Community Center, a non-profit corporation which provided various services to the community, which I run for over 15 years. I am a community gardener, director of several community gardens, but right now I'm directing the Umoja Community Garden, which has been run by Green Thumb and City Parks Foundation. At this garden, we do a lot of services, which I'll bring it and let you know a little bit more. I served on community board number 4 for over 20 years, which I served as chair of various subcommittees, which include the House and Land Use, Youth and Education Committee, Health and Hospital, and the Civic and Religious Committee board. I have donated, as I said, during my time as community organizer, I have organized so many different events. One of my events that I did was mostly organizing to bring the services which was expunged from our district on the Q24. I was successful in getting 5,000 signatures to take to MTA and lobby them to restore the Q24 on the Broadway corridor, which was a very good service. It assisted and helped a lot of seniors who could not climb the stairs to go and catch the train because there's no elevators to that train, and they are very successful in that. Next, as I said, as I want to come back on my main thing I'm doing now is running for city council because I have 4 top priorities I want to work on. My first one is housing. Second one is creating and protecting small businesses within my district. Job creation, which I intend to do a job vocational training center within the District 45. Immigration rights is on my top priority list, and criminal justice reform system for the criminal justice reform. I mean, that's about most I could tell you about right now. As for me personally, that's why I want to run for city council in the 45th City Council district this year. I
Okay.
don't know if I have time to let you know
You have 1 more minute.
my
So.
accomplishments. Okay,
1 moment. Okay.
prior to running for this district, I served as a county committee member, Democratic County Committee member twice, was elected twice. I was also appointed as executive member for the legislative branch in Albany, which we go twice a year to various parts, upstate New York and in Long Island. So I'm well privy of what's coming down from Washington to Albany and passing down to City Council. That's about what I have to say about my introduction.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph.
Mhm.
Okay. So actually, what you just said ties into one of the first questions I would like to ask you, which is that for better or worse, many in the city would say for worse, a lot of the things that New York City would like to do are actually regulated at the state level, a lot regarding education, regarding taxing, regarding things like that. How do you think you could be successful in getting resources and laws passed for New York City at the state level that would, once as a city councilor?
I'm glad you brought that question up. At the state level, since I'm privy to what's going on at the state level, when you have the bulk coming to the pipeline, we know what's coming down. I have been successful in working with several of my state legislatures, assemblymen, and state committee members in knowing what's going on. I could meet with them and we could work on a bipartisan way to bring resources down from Albany, which is state, to city council. Now, when it comes to city council, I could reach across the table and let our city council members know that if the whole pie comes down, we have to sit at the table and negotiate how we're going to split that pie, because I'm fighting to bring better services and resources to my district. And I'd not want the person from the 41st City Council district to take 3/4 of the pie and give me the rest of scraps from the end. And when they give it 3/4 to the 41st City Council, the 45th is not getting anything. So if we're going to negotiate, let's negotiate at a good space where I could provide the goods and services I promise my constituents to bring for them during my GOTV's process. That's the way I will work with that.
Okay. Gerald, I believe, has a question, so I'll let him ask it since he's also lives in the district.
Hey, Mr. Joseph, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. I just right now was looking on the campaign finance board. It looks like you have 3 opponents. You've raised around $3,000 or $4,000, I think. One of your opponents has raised $50,000. I'm assuming she'll receive matching funds for that. So you'll be at a rather significant monetary discrepancy. How will you overcome that huge money gap between yourself and one of your opponents?
Okay, how I could respond that right there and then. When I raised that money, it was off-season peak, and campaign finance board told us we have to stop doing fundraising during the COVID time. So we could not do any major fundraisers. Right now, after we start in January, we are getting contributions, which is the matching funds, which is 8-to-1. We are canvassing through our district, and I think that I do not want to take any money from no PAC. I want small donations. Because if I take money from PAC or big investors, that means I'm committed to doing what they want to do, not what my district constituents want to do. So we are doing fundraising right now, and I'm
Maybe a train is going over. I'm having a hard time
Yeah,
hearing
it
you,
seems.
Joseph.
Okay, it seems there's some connection issue.
yeah, the train was past night time. I am guaranteeing you whatever we do in fundraising, we're going to meet the threshold for the SEMF report.
I think
Are you back
we're
with
having
us?
connection issues. Did you say you're going to hit the threshold on the next disclosure? Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Thank you.
We just had the reporting for the 15th of this month, and the next one is in July. So between now and July, I will.
Sorry, Mr. Joseph, your signal is still not very good. We're losing your video and audio. And then hopefully, connection will hold to finish this off. All right. Thank you, and sorry for your technical difficulties. Gerald, did you feel like you got enough of an answer to your question, or is there anything you would like Mr. Joseph to repeat?
I think so. We can move on if that's all right.
Okay, sure. Ellen, you're still there. I know you're audio only. Did you have a question for Mr. Joseph?
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Joseph. I'm also a constituent in District 45. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I am. Thanks a lot, Helen.
Okay, good. Following up on the question that David asked about state issues that have an effect on our district, I'm wondering whether you support the New York Health Act that would create guaranteed health care coverage for all New Yorkers. It's
Yes,
a
I
single
do.
payer system.
Yes, I do.
That's great. So you'd be willing to sign a campaign pledge to that effect?
Yes, I will.
Great, thank you very much.
Okay, so we have time for one last question. Gerald or Ellen, do you have any additional questions? Otherwise, I can.
No, go ahead, David. Thank you.
So, I notice in your questionnaire answer about civil rights and criminal justice, you don't defund the police, which has become a big buzzword.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry, the train just passed. So.
Okay. Yeah, I could repeat. All right. So I noticed in your statement about criminal justice issues you would like to address in City Council, you don't specifically mention defunding the police or any of the other sort of buzzwords that have come out this summer. Can you talk about your feelings on that and why you chose to or chose not to include them?
Well, I did not talk about that one because that's not one of my top priorities, but I think defunding the police department is not a good idea. Because why? The train is passing. Could you give me about 1 minute, please? Yeah, as I was saying, I do not think defunding the police department is a very good idea. Why? Because if we look at public safety, and most of our policemen are doing a darn good job when it comes to public safety. And if we defund the police department, where are you going to put the money? That's what the mayor cannot answer me yet and tell me where he's going to put that money to. So defunding the police department is not my idea, and I would lobby hard. I would let people know that it is not right, because I'm an ex-police officer, and I know what policemen go through to pull that shift. You don't know if you're coming back to your house or not when you leave your house in the morning. So I think instead, rather than defunding the police department, they should increase funding for policemen.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Joseph, and Amy, thank you for helping out. Gerald, Ellen, thank you for coming. We are going to post this video online, and once we have finished our interviews with the candidates in the 45th, which probably be in a couple weeks, we will discuss at our next general meeting whether we want to endorse in that race. But thank you very much for your time, and you've been very helpful for constituents to hear about your platform.
I want to thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to meet with you all. And thanks a lot for you all doing a very good job. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you very much. And have a pleasant day. Be safe.
I know.